Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in this week to Planted in This Georgia Clay. So we have a lot going on. As you guys know, we're getting ready to install a fire pit that you guys will see. Our fence has gone in. I'm not quite sure, last week we had posts in there, the last vlog that you guys saw. I don't think anything was done. So this week's vlog is going to be a total transformation. We'll show you guys a little bit of what the fence looked like prior. It's currently now being in the process of being stained. It has a little bit more to go. But here in Georgia, we've been having some downpours like every single day, so it's kind of hard to get things completed. But in the interim, while it wasn't raining, I was able to plant some new plants, trying to get the backyard together. So I planted a new quick fab. So I have that hydrangea that I put in some new alliums I put in, a new rose bush, so kind of some other things as well. So I can't wait to share that with you guys. So let's go ahead and get into today's vlog. So I took a trip over to Lowe's and I found these beautiful plants. So I got a Sweet Starlight Hydrangea by Southern Living. It's actually what this one is. And that piece right there actually broke off a bigger bloom. I was so upset with myself. Seems to happen anytime I put them in the car. I got another knockout rose there and some other plants. So in order to complete this area of my yard, I'm thinking of making it more kind of like a cottage garden towards the back. Necessarily not the full thing, but just like in this area, and then the area that's going to be behind the fire pit when the fire pit gets completed next month. However, as you guys know in a previous vlog, I did get some alliums for my Mother's Day gift, and so I wanted to go ahead and complete that look there in front of the Japanese snowball. Viburnum is actually what that is behind it, and so I decided to go ahead and add two more. These ones are from Monrovia, and they are millenniums. So one had already had a bloom there, and it just looks so good. It's actually blooming a lot more on the other ones. Well, they haven't opened up yet, but I can see the buds there. So I'm just planting this one up. I also thought about putting a gardenia over in that space as well, but because that gardenia is an August beauty gardenia, it gets up to 6 feet tall and wide, and that viburnum gets up to 8 feet tall, and 8 to 10 feet tall and wide. So I just wanted to make sure that I gave that particular plant a lot of room. So I just wanted to make sure that I just keep smaller plants in front. So as of right now, I just have a border of the alliums. Still working on that particular flower bed because it does have some grading issues that I need to address. So as you can see, some of these plants were quite root bound, so I know that they were happy to get out of those containers, but I'm just breaking up the roots there, getting a little stimulated, and then planting them. I started to switch over to black cow fertilizer or compost to plant the plants, and it seems to be doing pretty good for them. But yeah, it just helps with the drainage for the clay soil, since it can be so thick. But I just love how that looks there. Again, I cannot wait for these to actually get fuller as the seasons progress, the longer that they're actually in my garden, and then the more blooms that I start to see as well. It's just something about white, purple, pink has been something that has been just resonating with me. So I believe that's like the influence of some of my plants that I actually get. Have to kind of coordinate with that color scheme. I don't know, every time I try to pick up something different, I always gravitate to that same palette. So I guess if it's working for me, I'm gonna just continue going with it. So as you guys know, I've been working on my hydrangea row, and I needed to get an additional one. I still need one more, but I was able to find this quick fire fab. On my hydrangea row, I have Limelight Prime, Quick Fire Fab, Limelight Prime Quickfire Fab is kind of like the I guess ideal I was going for. So I just wanted to have them because they do offer different blooming times and then also color as well when it comes to the fall. So I wanted something to have some variation, and then also they kind of are similar within size. Quickfire Fab gets up to 8 feet tall, and then the Limelight Prime get up to 6 feet tall. So just wanted something that just kind of had a nice hedge-like, but also complemented each other as well. So once I went ahead and got that hydrangea planted, I wanted to make sure that I got as much soil off of the grass as possible. Not trying to kill all of Matt's grass, so I'm making sure just to clean that up a little bit more, make it look a little bit more tidy. Eventually I plan on putting flower beds there, but for the time being, I just decided to go ahead and just put it in the ground. So over here I am planting a rose of Sharon. It's actually a white chiffon rose of Sharon. It's my very first one. It's actually a hibiscus. Hibiscus? I think I said it right. So I'm planting this for the very first time. It had some buds on it when I purchased it. They have not opened as of yet, so maybe they bloom more so towards the middle of July or end of July, but I'm hoping that those blooms will open soon. But it does get up to 10 to 12 feet tall, so I figured that it would be a great foundation plant right here on the side of my home. This auger here, I'm having quite some trouble with it right in that spot because there were so many rocks right there, and then also the grass that kind of got twisted around the auger. But I do have a new auger that I've been using, and I can't wait to share that with you guys because it has been awesome, a lifesaver. But my heart one does pretty good as well. It's a 6-inch auger, but the other one that I have is a 9-inch auger from Power Planter, and I've been loving it. I've been digging holes like crazy. So anyhow, I decided to go over, and within that spot, I was thinking Matt was going to be like, what are you doing? You keep putting holes in all of my grass. But he was totally okay with it. We went back and forth of putting maybe a blue spruce here, but because the blue spruces take so long to actually get to the potential size, and usually it takes about 10 years to get to full maturity, and we don't plan on being in this home within that time frame. I wanted something that would create a nice impact right now, so we decided to go ahead and get this Rose of Sharon. And when I say we, I mean me. But I bought it home, and it has beautiful white flowers, and I figured it would go beautiful with the stone that wraps around our house as well as the brick and our white exterior. So once I went ahead and tried the plant out within the hole that I dug, I knew that it needed to be a little bit wider, so once those roots start to really dig in and has room to grow. So I made sure to go ahead and scrape that out a little bit. I think I might have made this hole just a little bit too wide, but it worked out. I ended up putting some soil in it and then also putting some mulch a little bit later on when I went and got some more mulch. But I don't think I needed to plant or dig it as wide as I did initially, but it worked out. Right, so this weekend I went over to Pike's Nursery and I purchased another quick fire fab to go here. I like symmetry, so I have a quick fire fab here that is a Limelight Prime, and then this one here is a quick fire fab as well, and then the one over here on the corner is a Limelight Prime. So this right here I've designated as the name of Hydrangea Row, and I absolutely love it. We are going to still be getting some green giant arborvitae, but we're going to do that next year in spring. We just want some trees that are a little bit more established. But as you guys know, planting and landscaping is not cheap, so that's something that we're working on. We could buy something that's really small and wait for them to grow, but because we don't plan on being here forever, we kind of want that impact now rather than waiting long term. And some of those trees take a couple of years to establish themselves. So that's the plan there. But I absolutely love them. Again, that one there, the quick fire fab that is more established with the blooms, that's because it was in a greenhouse, and so they're just a little bit more ahead of these ones here that have been here. I did go ahead and plant some more alliums here as well. The concept here within this flower bed is, again, I need to get it back to grade as well, because when I dug it out, I obviously dug a little bit too deep here, so I do need to work on that. But my Japanese viburnum is doing absolutely well. I thought there was an issue with the plant because the leaves curl here, but actually that's just something that this Japanese viburnum actually does. I saw it again in another nursery this weekend, and I asked, and they just said that it's just a natural characteristic of the plant, that it's just getting used to where it's at, but it doesn't have any watering issues or anything. And especially here lately in Georgia, we've been getting a lot of rain. So this is allium that I got for Mother's Day from my kids and Matt, and actually has some buds here that are forming. So I'm so happy about that, that she's actually loving where she is. But here's a few here, and this is what it will look like once it does bloom. And this is one that I bought this weekend that actually had a bloom here. So, and that one has another bud that's coming up right there as well. So the allium will, my goal is to have the allium fill in this space here in the front. They normally bloom towards mid-summer, so they're starting to bloom now, or early summer, mid-summer, and go into early fall. And then I want to put some phlox here that I did buy. I'll show you guys in a little bit, and there'll be like some phlox here, so that way I have some interest throughout the season, especially since the viburnum really only blooms in spring. And as I mentioned in one of the vlogs, that I haven't had any blooms on here as of yet, but I'm hoping that it's just getting a lot of growth on her, and next year she will perform for me. So she's doing well. And coming on over here, I know I wanted to show you guys the Cloud 10 climbing rose. It gets about 7 to 8 feet tall and 3 to 4 feet wide. I think it's a perfect space here. We're going to be getting a fire pit here, but I can just trim it back so that way it's not going into the fire pit area. But I thought I lost it, but it's got a lot of good growth on here, some new buds that are forming. Obviously, you know, with the rose, that the red growth is new growth. I have a new cane that's coming up here as well, and I went ahead and did some dead hitting, but it's doing good. I thought that I might have lost it last week, but it seems to be doing fine, and I'm loving it. So another thing as well, if you guys haven't noticed, we have a fence. I absolutely love it. I went with a white fence. It's my take on a white picket fence, but obviously living in an HOA, I kind of have to have something that matches the neighborhood, but I tweaked mine just a little bit by putting on the top platform here, painting it white. We are currently the only ones with a white fence here. It's still in the process of getting done. It's been raining, so the guy that installed it for us, he'll come back once the weather is better and finish painting it off. And so some other things as well is the garden is starting to take shape here. There's gonna be a flower bed that comes out a little bit more, and it's more defined once the walkway for our fire pit gets installed. We did have white writing here, or paint lines, but with all the rain and stuff, it's kind of faded. But that gets installed July 10th, and then I'll really be able to create more of a flower bed here. This is some batch that Matt took off out of the grass when he was dethatching the grass. And I'm going to be using it as mulch once I create my no-dig flower bed. I have lots of cardboard. I need to start putting it down, especially with the rains or whatnot, but we're working on that. So other plants that I purchased are these phlox here. So these are by Proven Winners, and it's Opening Act Pink Adopt. And these are perennials, and they take full sun, so they'll be perfect over in that corner with the alliums. And I do have a August, Sweet August Gardenia, I believe that's what it's called, Sweet August. No, August Beauty Gardenia is what it's called. My birthday's in August, and so is my husband's, so I thought that was just a cute nod to us. And it had one flower that bloomed on it, but I haven't seen any other buds. I see some, but they haven't opened up as of yet. But I do need to get her in the ground. She gets about 6 feet tall and 3 to 4 feet wide. So I'm just seeing where I want to ultimately place her. And I also have this hydrangea here, which is called a starlight hydrangea. It was a gift from my dad when he came to visit me this weekend. So yeah, it's a sweet starlight hydrangea by Southern Living. And it says it gets 4 feet high by 3 to 4 feet wide. And I'm just debating on where I want to put her as well. But look at this big mop head flowers. Like, they're absolutely gorgeous. I had another one here. It broke off when I put it in the car. And that always happens to me. Like, dang it. But this head right here is looking so gorgeous. I can't wait till this plant is fully mature and it's living its best life. I also planted another knockout red rose I wanted to show you guys. Mind the mess. It's still work in progress. Be careful, it's real muddy. So I got this one from Home Depot. It was on clearance for 12 bucks. I was like, I'll take it. My dad was like, it looks a little ratty. I went ahead and cleaned it up. I deadheaded all of the flowers and it'll rebloom. I've already given it some fertilizer, some rose tone, and I've also given it some Miracle-Gro liquid rose fertilizer, but not all at the same time, but I've been doing that for her. And then this one right here is just budding up like crazy. It has a new bloom here, which is absolutely beautiful. I love it. It hasn't fully opened yet, but look at that. It's so pretty. So yeah, so everything is doing really well. I can't wait for this to become like a full true hedge. This one is doing absolutely well. They bloom all at different times, so I like to see that. Sometimes I might not have any blooms on one plant, and then one plant might be flourishing. So it's nice to see them not all just be weathered out and just no blooms altogether. So thank you guys so much for tuning in this week to Planted in This Georgia Clay. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, share it with a friend, and let me know what you guys think of the fence. I can't wait to, and actually I want to show you one last thing. So one last thing I wanted to show you guys is the beautiful entrance to my secret garden, is what I'm calling this particular side of the garden space. It's not fully painted as of yet, but the ideal here is once everything is painted white and finished off and our guys are all done, I can finally go ahead and plant some climbing roses. My two choices so far is I found a beautiful Eden climbing rose. It's called Colette, and then just one that's just called an Eden climbing rose. And then I'm actually in a third option, which is Eden Pretty in Pink climbing rose. So I'll put them on the screen. Let me know what you guys think in the comments of which one would actually be beautiful. My ideal is just to plant one on this side and one on this side and just let it do its thing and be absolutely gorgeous. So the goal is, as you walk through here, you're surrounded by beautiful fragrant flowers. But if any of you have any of those or own them or have seen them in person, let me know which one is your favorite and what you guys would suggest on our fence. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in this week to Planted in This Georgia Clay. Please make sure you like, subscribe, share it with a friend, and make sure to interact with me in the comments. I'd love to hear your feedback and let me know what you guys think and what I should add within my garden space. Bye guys.